Every time a pitcher hits a batter, it doesn't mean that it's intentional. Every time two teams are rivals and they are hit by a pitch, it doesn't, or does it mean that somebody's getting back at you hitting their star player? Let's talk about this rivalry that's brewing in the East on a special edition of Back to the Bullpen.
I'm looking to the bullpen to bring my lefty in. Keep the lead and make your team look pedestrian. It's in your wheelhouse, we'll swing for the fence. You know it's money around here, man, I ain't talking expense. Strike one, heat it low in the way you can't hit it. You know you want to start a rally, but you better forget it. Strike two, off speed, same spot, your car looking. Get ready at the plate, this time you're not cooking. Strike three, swinging out of the zone. You ain't even touch it first. Tell me how they gonna drive you home. Walking back, looking like we ain't cool then. The game's over, might as well put them back to the bullpen, oh yeah.
Hey, and welcome into a first ever special edition of Back to the Bullpen. Look, I think they're all special editions because Mike and I take pride in giving you all the best content and expert analysis from him. And he's not here right now. I figured I would break in because I was looking into this Yankees and Orioles rivalry that has become a thing. And I had to talk about it. This is something that I think is of interest to everybody across the baseball world. Now, many would ask, is this a rivalry? We know that the Yankees and the Red Sox are rivals, and people would say in modern playoff history, the Yankees and the Astros are rivals. But the Yankees and the Orioles have quite a long history playing each other. And when you put in the Orioles versus the Yankees all-time record, this is where it stands. The Orioles are 923 and 1363. They have a 923 wins to 1,363 losses. In 2024 so far, they are owning the Yankees at home. They are 500 and 641. Away at Yankee Stadium, 423 to 722. And so on its face, you would say, well, I don't know if they were a rivalry, but are they? Look, we know the Orioles have had good teams. They've won 3 World Series. It's just in recent memory when you look at what the Orioles have done outside of Cal Ripken and some of the great players they have had in the last 20, 30 years. The Yankees have pretty much run the East. And so it's been the Yankees division for a majority of their existence, and with the Orioles being in there. So it's not like the Orioles haven't done anything. They've won 3 World Series. But as of late, they had this resurgence with the rebuild and with the building of their farm system and are producing a top grade ball club who is basically rivaling and in most cases playing better baseball than the Yankees overall. The Yankees have pretty much run things in the East alongside the Red Sox. We know the recent, I say recent, I'm talking the last 20 something plus years. You know, the Rays came into the picture, and the AL East has been competitive. And the Orioles have kind of been the whipping boy of the East because they just couldn't put a good club together. Then a few years ago, Elias went to the Orioles. Some other executives from the Astros came to the Orioles. They started drafting like geniuses. They kind of did the Baltimore version of tanking. And 2024 has seen its share of hit batters in other series, but with the Yankees and Orioles series, it's been happening more frequently. But you've got to go back to the Aaron Judge incident where he was hit in the hand at Yankee Stadium. And when he reacted, you'll see he didn't take a liking to it. He almost insinuated by his body language that he was going to charge the pitcher.
And Judge gets hit.
So in the first part of this clip, you can see once Aaron Judge gets hit, he almost walks midfield between home plate and the pitcher and just kind of looks at the pitcher like, really? Suarez had thrown his 43rd pitch. It's 1-0 Yankees. They put Aaron Judge on first. I would say a bad strategy unless there's something going on is putting a guy on base. You give the other team more chances to score. But if you watch that clip in its entirety, you can see that Aaron Judge is clearly showing his disapproval. I think anytime a player gets hit, they show their disapproval.
To see where it got him.
Yeah. Yankee universe collectively holding their breath right now.
He got him to chase a fastball in earlier in the count.
You know, and Aaron Judge is the captain of the Yankees. Aaron Judge is the one that's spearheading what the Yankees have done successfully so far. Now, as of late, the Yankees have really almost fallen off a cliff. They've kind of done a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde 180 turn. They still have 50-something plus wins in 2024, but they really have been vulnerable to their own demise lately. So 3 weeks ago, this game where they're in the Bronx, Aaron Judge got hit in the hand. Now, it's been 3 weeks. There wasn't a whole lot that happened, but there were several hit by pitches during that series. Intentions are naturally going to be high if this is a rivalry game. And I would say the Baltimore Orioles and the Yankees are rivals. Now, I'm sure Yankees fans would have something to say about that, Yankees purist. But for all intents and purposes, Yankee fans, the Baltimore Orioles are really the team that everybody's looking at as not maybe not totally now. I think they're in it to win it, but they are really the ones that are going to dictate who wins the AL East. And look, this year has been really good for the AL East. I mean, the Boston Red Sox are playing excellent ball. And even though the Rays aren't playing their best ball, they are somehow in the mix. The Blue Jays, that's another story. But I don't know that every time a player is hit by a pitch that it's intentional. Okay. So that's where we have to talk about intent versus mistake. Now, we looked at that one, the first hit by pitch, a batter hit in the hand. And as Astros fans in Houston, they've seen a litany of their hitters being hit on the hand. Jose Altuve twice. You had Bregman get hit in the hand. I mean, getting hit in the hand is brutal. And so on this next one that we are going to look at, I don't know that the situation really warrants us to say it was intentional because of what was going on in the game at the time. So this is what happened in the ninth inning. The Yankees went to Clay Holmes for the save, and so he got one quick out, and so things really kind of turned after that. It is 4-1. Bottom of the ninth in Baltimore. Clay Holmes threw 8 pitches. Next was Kjerstad, who is an up-and-coming star for the Baltimore Orioles, a left-hander. It was an 0-2 pitch. Now, Holmes, the way he threw it, it looked like it got away. I mean, it didn't look like he threw at him, but it hit him right in the helmet. Luckily, they got helmets, right? With the situation, the Yankees up 4-1, a runner on first, 1 out, bottom of the ninth. That to me doesn't say, okay, this is where we're going to make our statement. And we're not only going to make our statement, we're going to throw it at your head. To me, if you're retaliating, you don't go after someone's head. You don't headhunt. You go after their hip. Go after the meaty part of their thigh. Don't go after their knee like they did with Yordan Alvarez a couple times in 2 different series from our opponents. But literally, he goes down. And when you see this, he goes straight down. Obviously, he had to come out of the game. And it wasn't until after he starts going back to the dugout that things get out of hand. But you know what? I'll let you watch this. Watch first part of it, come back, and then we'll watch how things kind of unfold.
To a game, and Kjerstad gets hit in the helmet. Oh, that is so scary. Brian Eagle immediately gets down.
Now, after he's checked on by the Baltimore trainer, who gets down literally on his face in the dirt and starts lifting him up, you see the Baltimore coach, and you'll see in this next clip, he throws the helmet behind him. He points to the dugout, and he starts charging the dugout. Now, I don't know who he's yelling at. Maybe he's yelling at Aaron Boone, and that's when the brawl, the bench clearing ensued.
Brandon Hyde's going to go shout. Brandon Hyde's throwing his helmet away. Brandon Hyde is pointing at the Yankees dugout, and the benches have emptied.
And you can see it becomes mass chaos. Everybody in the stadium's going crazy. It's insane. And everybody's mad. You see different players from the Baltimore side going into it. And then after everybody clears, it's a rule in baseball. The bullpen, you got to go out there and protect your guys.
Coach is back. Brandon Hyde went right at Jose Trevino in the Yankee dugout. Here come the bullpen sprinting onto the field.
Yeah, you could tell from the beginning Brandon Hyde was not. And look, this stems from the last time.
And the freaking Orioles, their pitching staff is hauling ass out of the outfield. They're like, we're going to defend our guys. And you're thinking all hell is about to break loose. I mean, this was wild. This was at the end of the game. Again, I don't think it was intentional, but it was very interesting to watch. Let's kind of watch a few more seconds of this.
Orioles were in New York. Aaron Judge gets hit.
Let's take a look here. Brandon Hyde, again, pointing at the dugout. I don't know who he's pointing at. Wells is trying to hold him back. Freddie Gonzalez gets right in the middle.
The commentator does mention that this stems from the last time the Baltimore Orioles were in New York, like we talked about, like we looked at, and he chronicled the hit by pitch that happened with Aaron Judge when they were in the Bronx when he got hit in the hand. I mean, it was pandemonious, but you know what? That's what you want your manager doing. Maybe not starting a brawl, but your manager absolutely has to stand up for his player. He got hit in the head. And of course, towards the end, I'm not going to show the last part because it's basically Boone like yelling at Brandon Hyde and saying, "Look what you did." Like, I don't know what's going on. Like Boone is trying to figure out what's going on. You know, he's probably thinking, I didn't call for that. But you know what? Baltimore fans are probably like, that was the Yankees. They're playing dirty again. We know how they do in the Bronx. And the Bronx is like, hey, you know, the Yankees are always innocent. They never do anything wrong.
Cole was somewhere in the middle of this too eventually, the Yankees starter tonight. Didn't see any punches thrown, just some pushing and shoving, emotions running high on both sides.
But my question is, what's going to happen over the next two games? What's going to happen over the next two games? Because when you look at right now where these two teams stand, they are neck and neck, and they're mainly neck and neck because the Yankees have really, I mean, they lost 4 in a row prior. I'm sorry. They won one game. They were 3-7 in the last 10. The Orioles have now lost 4 in a row. So the Orioles have a 1-game lead over the Yankees. At the end of the series, will they be tied? Will the Orioles stay ahead? I mean, this is a grandiose battle. You have the Baltimore Orioles at a plus 84 run differential. You got the Yankees at a plus 102 run differential. And you've got the Orioles playing 29-21 at home. The Yankees 25-19 at home. 32-20 on the road for the Yankees, 28-16 away for the Orioles. So what's going to happen in this AL East race? You've got Baltimore up by 1, Boston behind by 5.5, Tampa behind by 10. So it looks like, look, Tampa, they may be able to squeak into the wild card. They're behind the Astros by 3 games, but you literally have Baltimore as the East number 1 seed. You have the Yankees as the top wild card. They would secure that spot if things ended today. And then you got the Boston Red Sox. You could have 1, 2, 3 AL East teams in the playoffs this season. And that right there is interesting because you've got another race out west where you have the Mariners and the Astros neck and neck. 1.5 game separation between the Mariners and the Astros as I speak and record this. It could be 1 game if the Mariners end up losing. And so that's another tight race going on. But what's going to happen? What's going to happen between the Yankees, between the Orioles? I'm telling you, it's must-see TV. And as a fan of baseball, as a fan of competition, and as a fan of watching these young birds rise to the top, I mean, they are a scary opponent. And I think this might just light the fire. They may have lost 4 in a row, but I bet you they capitalize, win these next couple games before the All-Star break, and Baltimore is going to go on a tear. Look, this was a special edition of Back to the Bullpen. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to do more stuff like this on our channel. We thank y'all for supporting us. We thank you for hanging out with us. And look, I have the honor of sitting next to one of the most elite relief pitchers of all times. I mean, Mike Stanton is the man, and he doesn't ask me to say these things, but it is an honor to sit next to a 19-year Major League Baseball veteran with the knowledge that he has to do this. So thank y'all for tuning in. If you liked this, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Check us out on iHeartRadio. Wherever you get your podcasts, find Mike Stanton at Mike Stanton29 on X. You can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find the show on you're watching on YouTube right now. If you're listening, go to YouTube, subscribe. You're listening on Spotify, go to YouTube, subscribe. If you're listening on iHeart, go to YouTube and subscribe. From the Ramshard Studios and from State of the Art Barbershop in Friendswood, Texas, thank y'all for checking us out. And this has been another edition of Back to the Bullpen.
I'm looking to the bullpen to bring my lefty in. Keep the lead and make your team look pedestrian. It's in your wheelhouse, we'll swing for the fence. You know it's money around here, man, I ain't talking expense. Strike 1, heat a low in the way, you can't hit it. You know you wanna start a rally, but you better forget it. Strike 2, off speed, same spot, your car looking. Get ready at the plate, this time you're not cooking. Strike 3, swinging out of the zone. You ain't even touch it first. Tell me how they gonna drive you home. Walk your back, looking